Well, today, everybody, we're going to be talking about what I think are the most underrated guitar pickups you can use for heavy style music. Cutting right to the chase, we are going to be talking about P90s today. In fact, let's start today's video off with a nice little jam. This is a tune called Like Frostbite, written by yours truly, and it sounds a little something like this. So that guitar tone comes from my signature, my V1 if you will, my signature 30-inch baritone, my 6-string XRC Erebus from Cerberus Guitars, and these guitars shipped and went to all you guys who bought one. They're sold out now, you can't get them anymore. But those of you guys who got one, it came stock with a humbucker-sized P90. And even still to this day, I get a lot of DMs from you guys on Instagram, and if you guys are following me on Instagram, thank you so much, and if you're not, be sure to follow me. I appreciate it. But I get so many DMs from you guys, specifically whenever I'm playing my baritone guitars. How do I get that sound? And it really does truly come from the P90 style pickup. So before I continue to talk about P90s today, I want to turn it over to you guys and meet you down below in the comments section. What do you guys think of P90s? Have you ever tried them? Have you ever had any good or bad experiences with them? Why do you like them? Why don't you like them? I'd love to hear from you guys down below in the comments section, and let's mix it up. Let's all interact down below and talk about why P90s are awesome or why they're not. Obviously, I think they're awesome, hence the reason why I'm making this video. But if you don't like them, that's cool too. I would love to hear from you guys down below in the comments section. Okay, so now, this journey can be traced back all the way to 2020. I have been somewhat known for playing a Squier guitar quite heavily, and that Squier is, in fact, the 30-inch baritone, the vintage modified baritone Jazzmaster. So they're relatively well known by the time I picked one up, and I really started dabbling with those guitars. I had about 3 or 4 at one point in time. I still have my original one that I got, and it's down in Nashville right now, and that guitar has been all over the channel, has been all over all my original music. Half of Chronic Pain was written with that guitar, some songs on Subtle Comeback were with that guitar, etc., etc., etc. So what am I getting at? So those guitars aren't loaded with P90s, but they are in fact loaded with Duncan designed Jazzmaster pickups, which is a big, giant, fat, wide, single coil pickup. You know, I've seen a lot of people argue on the internet about how Jazzmaster pickups are nothing like P90s on the inside, like the guts. From my own experience, being somebody who tours and plays with them, they sound very, very similar. With that guitar, I was so inspired to try to come up with something of my own. So back in 2020 and 2021 era, I was a Balaguer guitars artist, and I designed a 30-inch baritone with Jazzmaster pickups as my main guitar. I was hoping one day that guitar could be a signature guitar with Balaguer guitars. It wasn't in the cards. I had a 2-year contract with Balaguer, and then we ended it very amicably, and I love Balaguer guitars. I support them 110%. Even still to this day, they're amazing. They're right in Pennsylvania, just maybe like 45 minutes down the road from me. Love, love, love Balaguer guitars. But that was the next evolution in me dabbling with single coils and Jazzmaster pickups. now enter the opportunity to have my own signature guitar with Cerberus Guitars. And Mike from Cerberus is like, dude, I know you love the single coil sound, but thinking about it from a business standpoint, which what I'm about to say makes so much sense, why don't we just go with a humbucker size P90, and it'll give not only you, the player, the artist, the signature artist, but also to people who buy them, the option to throw in a humbucker. And I'm so glad we did this, because I love not only that marketing idea and that business decision with these guitars, but I'm obsessed with this Guitar Marie P90 pickup. This guitar is completely stock. I have two of these. I have two copies. One's got an EMG that I've toured with before, and this one at home, where I write all my original music in drop F, is this guitar. I love how this P90 sounds. It sounds, in my opinion, better than the Jazzmaster, the vintage modified baritone Jazzmaster, and my Balaguer guitar, Jazzmaster Strat Toro looking thing. And this is where the whole underrated title comes from, as the video suggests, the title of this video. These things are so clear and they're so gnarly, and I just love how they cut in a mix, especially in low tunings. You know, I have a 30-inch baritone right here. We're not going to be playing in standard tuning all too often with a 30-inch guitar. That's just silly, right? So we're going to be playing in super low tunings. I'm all the way down in drop F, almost in bass territory. This is very Meshuggah. You know, I've always been inspired by Meshuggah's guitar tones and their, you know, amazing sounds that they created, you know, for the last, give or take, 20, 25 years, however. Maybe even 30 at this point, geez. But I love the sound of a low F. But in my own experience and in my own journey, getting down to drop F with a humbucker didn't really sound that good to me. I even had once upon a time an old signature Meshuggah Ibanez 8-string, and I just did not like how drop F, or just F standard, I guess I should say, sounded on that guitar. So when I got the opportunity to get the Squier, and then now I have the opportunity to get my own signature guitar, I've just learned how P90s just cut through in a mix so well, and they sound better than any humbucker I've ever tried in a low tuning. It just cuts all the mud and all the unnecessary woofiness and fullness that a humbucker delivers in such a low tuning. I love humbuckers. I love EMGs, right? I've said that a million times. I love the EMG 81 as a humbucker in like drop B, drop C sharp, etc. Like all the normal guitar tunings. Being so low and having such a unique desire to play a certain style of music that I create in drop F, a humbucker just would not work for me. That's where the P90 comes in, and that's where it fixes all of the problems when recording, when playing in super low tunings, and just having the ability to cut through in a mix. And I give P90s the title of underrated because think about all the greats out there, all the legends of guitar, like Tony Iommi, Leslie West. I'll throw a new guy in there, James Nichols. Mike Ness is another one. You know, there's certain players that have made a career out of playing P90s, but they're still just so underrated and underappreciated, in my opinion. And especially in my demographic, in my genre here, where we play metal music, you know, everybody now is using Fishmans mostly. And EMGs were like the top dog. Then it seemed like once Fishman came out, Fishmans were the top dog. Now I feel like they're kind of neck and neck right now. I don't know. I've always liked EMGs, but what I'm trying to say is like nobody really uses P90s at all in the heavier style of music. And I guess the point I'm really trying to make to you guys is just try a P90 for lower tunings especially. Now, I know they're really noisy, they're really clanky, they're not pretty sounding. They're an acquired taste, and if you don't like that taste, that's totally fine. But once you put them in a mix and put in an entire band around the P90 sound, they just cut like nobody's business, and it is just so amazing to hear. And I love, love, love how my guitar sounds, how the Squier sounds with a Jazzmaster pickup. I just love the single coil sound and low tunings, and I think P90s are the best option for what I'm trying to create with my drop F riffs. So everybody, kind of a long-winded answer of why I think P90s are so underrated, but I just wanted to make this video as like a love letter to P90s, as well as just kind of tell my story about how I've come to this point in time right here, being obsessed with P90s. And last but not least, giving you guys the suggestion that maybe you should try out some P90s and let me know what you guys think. All right, everybody, that's the video for today. I love you guys so much. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe again. I'll meet you down below in the comment section. With that being said, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in a video very, very soon. Later.